Kwanzaa, uh, whatever you celebrate. If you do or you don't, is what it is. Anyways, just going to do a quick live tonight here. Want to thank everybody who's contributed in helping my family during this crisis. You guys helped us get caught up as manageable again. Much appreciated. Um, so again, you guys are awesome. Everybody out there, friends, family, subscribers, and whatnot. Um, Hopefully, you guys are all enjoying the Soviet weapons. You know, whether it be Covert Mosin Nagant rifle, SKS, of course, Kalashnikov. Um, kind of right now we're doing Vasily Zaitsevin. He was the sniper that was in Stalingrad. They made the movie Enemy at the Gates about. So that as I was reading that, I was doing a lot of research on it, and hold on, I got to drink some of this eggnog. And that's like diabetes right there in a jug. But anyways, research-wise or whatnot, debunking. Now, great movie. Came out in 2001 or whatnot. Vasily, what's interesting about him, he was born in 1915. He was up in the Ural Mountains, which is east of Moscow. Now, I've been to St. Petersburg. I've been to, or formerly Leningrad, back in 2003, 2004, on a vacation, quite some time ago. But beautiful city. It was very different culture and whatnot. The further you head east, though, the culture gets even more different. There's a lot more poverty. You're past Moscow, and like the Ural Mountain Range, down the Volga River, and then Baku, there's a lot of oil refineries, a lot of resources, minerals. The Soviet Union, as poor as the people were, the government itself, had tons of resources. Before Ukraine, broke off or whatnot, during the Cold War era, mega mining, minerals galore, lots of resources, stuff like that. Stalingrad was the biggest mistake Hitler ever made. And that was, Operation Barbarossa, which was basically they were pushing through Poland and they were just going to go out through out where the USSR, all those are. Hi, BB. Thanks for joining. Thanks so much for all your support and everything you've done for us. We appreciate you so much. It's great to hear from you. Like all wars, though, and everybody, this is going to crack everybody up. Wars are always about oil and minerals. Look at Japan and the United States. Now, the reason everybody knows Japan attacked Pearl Harbor was to cripple and slow down the Pacific Fleet. That way they could hit China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, a lot of oil in a lot of those countries out there. Japan wanted it. They were on a trade, sanctions with us at the time as far as petroleum went. Then you look at Stalingrad. So, you head to the Volga River, you have Baku, which is south, tons of oil fields. Just ginormous, lots of resources, everything like that. Now, fighting wars, you use a lot of resources to do so. Hitler, Blitzkrieg, they bombed the hell out of everybody. They had advanced weaponry. World War II was pretty rowdy as far as that goes. Now you're fighting your way east. Well, most of Russia, the most population is going to be on the European half or European part. Further down and whatnot, you'll get to like Kazakhstan, where when they were formerly the USSR, you'll have all those countries right in that region and area as well. Afghanistan was another bordering country to USSR at one point. But anyways, if Hitler were able to get to those mines, and they were able to get to those petroleum refineries and, oil fields and things like that, the outcome could have been different with the war. Now with Stalingrad, one thing to take into consideration, it's a very large city. It was one of the largest urban warfare battles ever fought in history. They were bombing and killing 10,000 people a week. Germans were bombing, civilians, leveling the city. And yet you've got, all these recruits and whatnot who, I mean, let's put it this way: the USSR was not organized. When Operation Barbarossa took place and Hitler invaded, Stalin was at a secret pact with Nazi Germany at the time, and he postponed it and held back and held back and held back. He didn't want to provoke them. And by the time they're at the front door, at the gates, that's when he finally decided to mobilize the military and do something about it. Now, where that brings in, you've got the city Stalingrad, named after your dictator, or, you know, it's a symbol or whatnot at the time. Propaganda was huge. The Soviets, they had the Bolshevik Revolution that just barely had happened right after World War I. You know, Lenin had lost power at this point. Stalin was in. You know, they were all Marxist views and things along that line. But they still were not completely organized as a full-out nation yet. So, you know, they were underarmed. I mean, as far as resources went, they didn't have cover support from, you know, air assets, things along the line like that. And so whatever people they could get, they'd give them a rifle and send them out. And, you know, there's a famous scene in the movie where you see the officers or the non-commissioned officers yelling at all the brand new recruits, telling them, take the rifle, run. That guy gets shot, pick up his rifle, you keep going. If you guys turn around and come back at us, we're going to shoot you as traitors or whatnot. I mean, that really happened because people did not want to get in that fight. It was nasty. But Zaitsev, originally, he was in the Pacific Fleet for the Soviets. With Stalingrad, you know, just about to be taken as the Germans kept going that way, he requested to move to the front lines and go over into mainland in the USSR. And he wasn't a sniper. He at first, he was some sort of communications guy operating the radios and doing inventory in a support position. Some circumstances changed. Turns out he was a wicked shot. They used their propaganda to really boost him up like a superhero. You know, this guy's out there fighting for Stalin, you know, fighting for our leader, fighting for the motherland, you know, and he's this just regular guy from the rural mountains who originally was in the Navy, but he's out here doing what he's doing, and it's the right thing to do for the Red Army. You know, and believe it or not, and a lot of you guys that are veterans in active duty, you know how morale works. When you've got somebody that's just a badass and whatnot, it makes their whole platoon badass, their whole company badass, you know, their whole battalion badass. I mean, it's just everybody's out there, they're ready to go get some and get kinetic. One thing to also take in consideration, when somebody's invading your own country, people that are being invaded tend to fight a lot harder because it's their home. Nobody wants a stranger in their house telling them what to do. Iraq, Afghanistan, prime examples of that, regardless of what help the United States thought we were doing. A lot of people don't really care for that stuff. But, you know, with his talent being a marksman, you know, they give it originally just with the Mosin in 1891. They got him the newer rifles, I believe the 1930 scopes. He still preferred to use iron sights. Fieldcraft, he would, you know, camouflage in an urban environment that's difficult. However, you know, hiding under burlap, hiding under dead bodies, department stores, things along that line, and, you know, and reading in his notes and everything along the line like that, you know, it was just the carnage happening left and right. And, you know, his entire career as a sniper marksman for the USSR was only about 5 months. Now, confirmed kills is 242. Propaganda machine to try to get at the Germans and try to boost morale. They were saying that he had killed up to 4,000 already and stuff like that, which, you know, that's insane. Nobody can, I mean, that's like the Terminator, man. That would just be nuts. He's like, the guy's like a walking explosive if that were the case. But, you know, then of course there's the famous sniper duel of him and Major K, who was a marksman for the Nazi Party. He was also supposedly their sniper school teacher. Now, there's actually a different man who they really believe it was, named Corporal Fromm, and that's who the famous sniper duel was with, like you see in the film, or like Vasily talks while he's in his memoirs. They juiced it up propaganda-wise, made it like some big high officer, major, aristocrat, you know, killing machine from World War I, that type of guy, just to boost people's morale. Now, their entire skirmish and duel, playing back and forth cat and mouse, was probably only about 6 days tops. But of course, you've got that propaganda. They're going to give that thing a booster. So, anyways, we're getting just about ready to wrap that one up. Do some fun stuff here with Christmas coming up, guys. I hope y'all enjoy that. You're safe with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and enjoy the holidays. Anybody watching this replay, thanks so much for watching. Take care and have a good evening.